Northwest Senior.
Okay, good morning. We're here for our weekly Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Wednesday, May 26, 2021, and we're here in the Senator Hearing Room. And as always, we will start, if you'll join us, with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember the days we used to say that every day in school?
Yes.
I remember that. Wow. So we must be in school today.
Must be. I think it ended with my generation.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Not that I led that, but I think
I'm
that's
sure you led it, right, yeah. Okay, so we have nobody signed up for public comment this morning, unless I want to make sure if there's anybody here that wanted to make public comment. Okay, and we'll go right into our consent calendar, and I believe,
Oh, I think you want a presentation with Katrina?
oh,
Right.
I thought we were not going to do that anymore. See, next week we're doing that. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to presentations. Katrina, it's good to see you this morning on COVID-19 update.
It's okay.
All right.
I'm happy to.
You're happy not to give a presentation?
It's fine. All right. Good
We're
morning.
happy to have one.
I'm Katrina Rothenberger, Public Health Division Director with Marion County Health and Human Services. For today, May 26th, as of today, since the beginning of the pandemic, we've had 22,669 total COVID-19 cases in the county. 313 people have died. And our positivity rate has been 8.5% for the duration of the pandemic. And today there were 44 new cases. For the last 2-week period, May 9th through May 22nd, there were 740 cases, which is a case rate of 212 per 100,000. And this was a decrease by 16% from the previous 2-week period, May 2nd through May 15th. The bulk of the cases are coming from the Central Salem, Northeast Salem, Brooks, and Kaiser zip codes. Marion County remains in the high-risk category. And as of yesterday, we have vaccinated 55.8% of Marion County residents, which is 151,430 people with at least one dose of the vaccine. And we need just under 25,000 more people in Marion County to reach the 65% benchmark to move to the lower risk category. At our current vaccination rate, we hope to hit this mark in about 4 weeks. So we need to do about 822 shots per day in order to reach 65% by June 30th. Once the state of Oregon reaches 70% of the population, the eligible population 16 and over, Governor Brown has said she will lift most of the restrictions that are currently in place, and currently 64.3% of the state has received at least one dose of the vaccine. That's about 2.1 million Oregonians, and about 1.7 million are fully vaccinated. In order to move to the lower risk category, in addition to reaching the 65% benchmark, we're requested to complete a vaccine equity plan. The plan has been completed along with community partners, with our board's office, with staff, and we plan to submit to Oregon Health Authority this week. And our plan really highlights a lot of the great work that we have been doing throughout the pandemic, and also what we plan to do moving forward to close the vaccine inequities between racial and ethnic groups. The Moderna vaccine has completed their study on the efficacy for the vaccine for 12 and over, and we expect Moderna to apply for emergency use authorization in June. The vaccine is still the best way for us to protect ourselves and others from the virus, and I want to encourage everyone who has not received the vaccine to talk with your medical provider to see if it's right for you. Excuse me. Looking at some of our vaccination data for age groups, we've seen that the certain age groups that are lower vaccinated are also seeing higher case rates. So want to encourage those to continue to get vaccinated. The 20 to 29 age range has one of the lower vaccination rates and our highest COVID case rate in the previous 2-week period. So that tells me the vaccines are working, and those age groups with the higher rates of vaccination are seeing lower rates of COVID. I also wanted to mention that starting on June 6th, Marion County on Sundays and holidays will no longer be doing COVID case investigation or responding to non-urgent COVID issues. So we're having some staffing challenges, and they've just been working so hard over the past 15 months, and it's time to have a day off. So we want to thank all of their hard work. We're still available for 24/7 emergency, public health emergency issues on our 24/7 phone. It's the same phone line as our COVID number. It's 503-588-5621. Just Sundays, we're not going to be calling people. We're not going to be following up with healthcare providers. That'll have to wait until Monday. We'll have staff available on Saturday, though. So,
Katrina, thank you. And I know the state has been closed on Sundays for quite a while, so we're just catching up.
Many other counties are
Right.
closed on Sundays and
Our
holidays as
people,
well.
Your
Yeah.
people, our people have
Yeah.
worked really hard. I think, I just thought about, you mentioned the plan that we have to submit. Did we put in there about our new position we hired after the COVID outbreak, where we put in the health department, we hired somebody on diversity and equity? Did we put that in the plan?
I did
we
not,
did-
but I'm happy to
We
do that.
might want to mention that, because that was another action step that we approved when this all came out, and has been a real help as well, so.
Absolutely.
I thought
Great
about
idea.
that I think I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about it. All right.
Sorry your sleep was.
Oh, it was a rough night sleeping, but it's okay. All right.
Great, thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions for Katrina? Good news. It's all good news. In fact, we looked at those graphs yesterday, and it's really great to see
Yeah.
cases.
Oh, and I will be back next week. So next week starts the every other week plan.
Okay, so I'll remember to bring you up.
She's kind of like
I
Lucy
mean,
in the
it is on the
football.
agenda.
Yeah, it starts the every. All right, thank you very much. Okay, now we'll go to the consent calendar.
Okay.
And Commissioner Bethel.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent calendar. Item number 1 is Board of Commissioners OLCC application for City Mart, Salem, Oregon. Under Finance, approve a quitclaim deed for the sale of property ID number R18881 for Marion County to the grantee. And also under Finance, approve an order to sell a proposed list of tax foreclosed properties in Marion County at a public auction on August 10th, 2021.
And I second the motion.
A motion and second, any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I just do have one comment. In that order to sell the tax foreclosed properties, we do mention that we're going to comply with all COVID regulations in place. But my understanding is that we will not be asking people for their vaccination status when they come in, because there's been some concern about that. So I clarified that.
Yeah,
Great.
all right. Yep, okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right, that's done. We will go to our first action item, and it's consider approval of incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Human Services in the amount of $300,000 for the county to provide job placement services to vocational rehab participants referred to DHS retroactive from April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2023. Welcome, Ryan and Jamie. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners. And for the record, Ryan Matthews, the Administrator for Marion County Health and Human Services, and I'm joined by And we are here seeking approval of an intergovernmental agreement with DHS and the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation Services to reimburse our supported employment team for job placement services that they provide under this agreement. I did want to point out that even though the dollar amount says it's up to $300,000, that is an up to amount. And historically, we only bill and get reimbursed $30,000 to $40,000 a year. It's nowhere near as large as what sort of the up to cap is. I believe we did request that they reduce that, but their contracting process, I think it was easier to just sort of rinse and repeat the same dollar amount that they've had historically, which is why it's up to $300,000, but they'll only pay us for the services we provide. So we'll only receive that. I'm actually really excited about our opportunity to speak about our supported employment and supported education program that is a part of this agreement. We were really early adopters across the state in the supported employment program here in Marion County 15 years ago or so. I don't remember the exact date, but it was shortly after I started. And it was really something that I think we've seen the value in, and it's just continued to grow. And then it's been adopted certainly across the state and to a much larger degree. I think many of us find value in having a job. I mean, we come to work every day. It provides structure. There's a lot of intrinsic value in how we identify with ourselves in terms of the position, the work that we get to do and what we get to accomplish day to day. And I think having individuals who are experiencing those mental health challenges be able to achieve their career goals and have sustained long-term employment, I think we see really the rewards that they receive from this program. And so I've got Jamie here, who is our clinical supervisor, and I was going to turn it over to her to kind of describe the program as well as some of what we've accomplished during the pandemic, because they haven't stopped, and they certainly haven't stopped seeking to attain our employment goals for the people enrolled in this service. So Jamie, do you want to provide some information?
So I will try not to talk too long, because I could definitely talk a long time, because like Ryan, I'm also very passionate about this program. And I'll talk a little bit too about just our collaboration with Folk Rehab Services. But I'll start out with one of our major success stories that it just is really powerful to speak about this program. It's an individual who was enrolled in our assertive community treatment team, so that's our most intensive community-based treatment team. And he had enrolled in vocational rehab services along with our support employment program. And Voc Rehab had requested some assessments and neurocog to determine his ability to work. And what they had come up with is that they did not foresee him being able to work or sustain long-term employment. And so for them, that is kind of where they have to end based on the assessment. That's where we definitely picked up. We were successful in getting this gentleman placed, and he was working for over a year. He only recently just put in his resignation, looking for something that maybe is a little bit better suited to him, but he was able to sustain that through the work with our supported employment specialist alongside of VR. So once we got him employed, that's when our relationship with VR really was beneficial, because part of that is just being able to aid him in the resources and tools and things that he needs to maintain that employment. During the pandemic, when the buses were shut down, they actually temporarily were able to provide transportation to and from work on a temporary basis to make sure that he's able to get there, because he wasn't able to take the bus. And with that employment, he was able to maintain stable mental health, probably the best that he had been in many, many years. And he spoke during a review for the ACT team, the sort of community treatment team, and actually really spoke to the auditors about how very important this program was to him. That he, really felt like he found meaning and purpose and just felt like he had a life worth living. And so that definitely speaks well to the work that my staff do. So part of our work this last year has been, obviously highly challenging. We work under some 8 principles that is put together by its individual placement services that was developed by Dartmouth College, which is an evidence-based job search and development program where we really work with the individual around what types of employment they want, making sure that we don't exclude anybody that wants to work. What they have found is that over 60% of individuals with severe mental illness want to work. They don't want to live off of the government for their money. Even if they end up getting still having to use some of that, they still want to have that time in consideration as well. So it really enhances their self-esteem, helps them have somewhere to go during the day, which being able to keep busy helps maintain their mental health instead of just sitting without anything to do. It also helps them feel connected to other people and helps them learn new skills and increase their income, because those with severe mental illness, when they are using Social Security income or supplemental security income and SSDI, they are really at a very poverty level. They do not have really sustained money. It's kind of living paycheck to paycheck. And so being able to increase that income to have a better way of life. So this past year, we were successful in getting many placements. So just to give you some numbers, so our Q1 of last year, so that was before we went into lockdown, before the pandemic really took a major hold in our community, our unemployment rate was at 3.5. We had been able to get 16 individuals new jobs during that, so that's from January to March. And then during that time, we had 35 total people employed. When we went into lockdown, so Q2 from March through end of June, our unemployment rate was at 10. That was the highest last year that we saw it go to. And during that time, we were still successful in getting 7 new job starts. This is a time when unemployment was unprecedented, right? And we were also able to maintain employment for 37 of the individuals. And just to give you an idea, we have typically serving around 100 to 110 at any given time. And then again, our Q3 unemployment was dropped to 7.4. We've still got 9 new jobs and maintained 32 positions with our individuals. And then this year, we are definitely starting to see that increase now that things are picking up. Our unemployment rate has gone down to 5.6. We've gotten 17 new jobs between January and March. And the employment, we've been able to maintain 36 jobs with our individuals. And our work with Voc Rehab is really a collaborative relationship. So where they have to cease, we can pick up and really support those individuals. We stay with them as long as they feel like they need that support to maintain employment, so that they're able to be successful, and it really does help maintain their mental health status and improve their own personal self-worth.
Questions?
I don't have any questions. Good job.
I just want to make a statement, work is such an important part of all our lives, and it doesn't change no matter who you are. And over the years, I've seen the state change a lot of how we've helped people find these jobs, and it's great to hear. I didn't even know that we had that many clients. How many staff people do you have working?
So I have 5 supported employment specialists and 1 supported education specialist.
Okay, and are they paid through this grant? Is that what
Yeah, so part of it. So the grant, what it does is Social Security has something called Ticket to Work. So it's really about getting those on disability back to work. And so vocational rehab usually is getting that money for that Ticket to Work program. But with this grant, what we do is they split that money with us. So when we have somebody that is in our support employment that we refer to Voc Rehab, that we get an initial payment there just for that referral, and they get enrolled with them. Then we get money when they get a job start, and then it goes in increments from like when they, I believe it's up to a month, sustained 6 months, and then a year. And so each time we have one of those times, we send a AFP to Voc Rehab, and we get money from them for those services.
And I was going to mention,
And we also pay.
I was going to mention, we also have some other funding sources too. So for the Medicaid population, it's part of our provider contract with Pacific Source for their membership, and it's also a program element within the IGA with Oregon Health Authority as well. So it's a blend of several funding sources.
Great. And then, Jamie, you mentioned unemployment rates. When you were referring to unemployment rates, you're talking about the state unemployment rate?
Marion County specifically. We work with OSECI, which is the Oregon Center for Supported, Oregon Center for Excellence in Supported Employment. So they track all of those, and they actually break it down per county that you're in. So
Yeah.
each program, so
So my
that's
question,
actually
so my
specific.
question is, when you cite unemployment was at 3.5%, that's for the whole population of Marion County? In other
Yes,
words,
yeah,
right, okay.
yeah.
So you would think when the unemployment rate is lower, we'd have more opportunities to get people in. So when you're talking about when the unemployment rate was high, people aren't hiring, basically.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
still got 7 new jobs when it was at 10%. So,
Mm-hmm.
great.
Yeah, and there's more competition for those jobs. So
Yeah,
the more people
yeah.
that are unemployed, the more competition, the harder it is for us to place.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
understood.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Work's so important to people's dignity, so.
Yep.
This is great. I'm glad that we provide this service, and it sounds like you have a great team. So thanks for your work.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. Take a motion for ready.
I think it's my motion,
Yeah.
right? All right, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Human Services in the amount of $300,000 for the county to provide job placement services to vocational rehabilitation participants, referred by DHS, retroactive from April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2023.
Second the motion.
I have a motion, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right. Thanks again, Jamie. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Our next action item is under Public Works. Consider approval of an order appointing Marissa Roskelly, if I said that right. Okay, to the Marion County Parks Commission with a term ending May 26, 2025. And I believe Tom's here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Tom Kissinger, Parks Program Supervisor. We're here today to discuss the appointment of Marissa Ross-Kelly to the Marion County Parks Commission for a term of 4 years. Just a little bit of background. The Marion County Board of Commissioners formed the Parks Commission by board order on September 16th, 1958. The commission consists of a minimum of 7 to a maximum of 11 voting members who serve four-year terms appointed by the Board of Commissioners. The Parks Commission has recommended that the Marion County Board of Commissioners appoint Marissa Ross-Kelly to the Marion County Parks Commission for a 4-year term ending on May 26th, 2025. Just a little bit of background, and then I'll let Marissa introduce herself. Marissa is a nurse at Sandium Hospital in Stayton, Oregon, and a homeowner in the East Salem Service District. She's visited every Marion County park and typically goes there to unwind, walk her dogs, and enjoy nature. And so far, she's attended 2 Parks Commission meetings, and we're very excited to have her start serving on the commission. And I'll turn it over to Marissa for any questions, or if you have any introduction that you'd like to give, or...
Welcome, and would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I do have a prepared statement. If I go on too long, please just jump in.
All right, just take a deep breath, you're good.
Will you introduce yourself first?
Yeah.
for the
My name is
record?
Marissa Ross-Kelly. I'm an ER nurse. I moved to Salem in December of last year from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Welcome.
Thank you. Tom asked me, why do I want to be part of the Marion County Parks Commission? As a night shift ER nurse, I deal with loss, pain, and noise in a fast-paced environment for 12 hours at a time. Being outside with my dogs, away from beeping monitors, people crying and screaming, and all the noise of a busy ER is essential to my mental health and well-being. I need the calm of trees, the smell of flowers, and the sounds of wind and insects. Romping outside with my dogs brings me joy and contributes to my happiness. I came to Salem for a better life, and I want to be part of a community. Civic responsibility is everyone's contribution to our community, even if it is only in small ways, and this could be mine.
Fantastic.
I just want to clarify something, because I heard Salem, but I also heard Stayton.
I believe she lives in Salem.
Lives in
and
Salem,
I do.
works in
Staten.
But
Stayton.
works in Stayton. Okay, good, because that's like a very positive thing in my mind, working in
He lives
Stayton.
in Staten.
I think that's a really great thing. So I just didn't want you to downplay your
Staten,
I think she
Role in
lives in New
Stayton.
Marion.
Is that right?
I think.
Marion, yeah.
In New Marion
The ESSD. You live on the east side of.
of
Salem.
Lancaster.
I do. I live on Hoffman Road, which is 1 block off of Corden.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're in the county,
I'm in county.
You're in
Yeah.
By
county.
4 houses.
Right.
So it really is New
Let's
Marion.
keep it that way.
Yeah,
Right.
that's good.
Well, we've named the East Salem New Marion, right? Because
Not formally, but it may come.
Right.
It's not part of Salem, so I don't know why we keep calling it Salem.
True, in Marion.
If you incorporated East Salem, it would be like the fourth largest city in Marion County. It's that large of an area. I noticed on your application that you traveled annually to Kona, Hawaii.
I did
you
for 18
partici-
years.
Did you participate in the World Championship Ironman?
I volunteered in the medical tent.
Okay.
So I would do one 24-hour shift. I would be on shift in the tent for 24 hours taking care of the triathletes.
Did you know that the Ironman's coming to Salem?
No,
Not the championship, but they're having an Ironman
They are.
event.
that will always
Yeah.
be in
This
Kona.
year.
Yeah, yeah.
I might have to volunteer. I have actual real world
I feel like we
experience.
probably talked about it.
If you contact Travel Salem, I think their sports division is the area that's putting all that together. There may be some positions available.
I absolutely guarantee there will be.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna swim the Willamette.
That'll be different.
Huh?
That'll be very different.
They're gonna bike. I don't know what then they bike and then they run somewhere out in the county someplace. I don't know.
It appears to be a county.
I'm not in shape to do it. That's all I know,
I
right?
think I noticed yesterday on
That I was in
Ironman
shape?
thread, no, not that, but that Camp Tolali is engaging and they're offering
Spaces.
lodging.
Yeah, spaces.
So I think it's fantastic. It's gonna be a very county-centric activity. Of course, I think I'm gonna leave town, frankly.
A lot of people in Kona do. They
Yeah.
leave town for
I
Ironman
like that.
because,
Yeah.
25,000 people descend on a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a wonderful experience, and I do like to volunteer. I've also volunteered for Susan G. Komen. And on a more local level, wherever I live, I tend to be the neighborhood nurse. So where we came from, I had several of my neighbors that were older that needed their blood pressure checked, and they needed their blood sugar checked, and they couldn't read their pill bottles, and they needed their pill containers filled up every week. So using my skills, I just reached out, and they've all realized in my new neighborhood in East Marion, and it's great. It's wonderful.
good.
Well, we're glad to have you, and thank you for stepping up and volunteering in this important. We've got a lot of work to do in our parks. and
Yes,
I'm
we
sure
do.
sure you've heard about that by attending
Yes,
the
and I'm
last.
excited for the opportunity to be a part of it.
Yeah, and there's some really good plans that are out there, long-term visions of rebuilding the canyon, and we're excited about seeing some of that happen. So, great. We'll unless there's anything else, we'll take a motion.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve an order appointing Marissa Ross Kelly to the Marion County Parks Commission with the term ending May 26, 2025.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Say hi when you see us.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna recess our board meeting and wait 2 minutes because we have a notice of 9:30 for our public hearing. So in 2 minutes, I'll open the public hearing. I'll open a public hearing. Consider amending Marion County Comprehensive Plan urbanization element. We got a little excitement going on outside. All right. Brandon, they were cheering you on, I think, right? Welcome.
Right. So thank you, Commissioners. For the record, Brandon Reich, Marion County Building and Planning Division Manager at Public Works. So this report is a little bit longer, but it's not that long. I just want to kind of walk you through the reason for this meeting, this hearing today. The Marion County Comprehensive Plan is composed of various elements. One of those elements is the urbanization element, how to make land urban, transitioning from rural. And it provides policies and guidance about how urban growth boundaries are established and how land is managed by the county when it's inside the urban growth boundary before it's annexed. It also contains a section called the Growth Management Framework. The Growth Management Framework was first adopted as a set of standards in 2002 to apply to the county's coordination with cities implementing urban zoning and urban growth boundaries. In 2008, the language was amended to instead serve as guidelines that cities can consider when reviewing their zoning and the land needed in their urban growth boundary. The language in the framework currently does not contain requirements that must be complied with. Cities are tasked by the Department of Land Conservation and Development to achieve certain efficiencies when developing their land. One of the ways that can be achieved is through the density of development. In 2002, Marion County adopted a set of densities based on city size in order to offer a set of standards that cities could use to demonstrate that they were growing efficiently and meet the state requirements. The densities in the framework were determined at that time of adoption to be common densities that cities that size were able to achieve. However, the densities may not have always reflected individual circumstances for cities when they review their urban growth boundary or consider what zoning to apply to property within their jurisdiction. In 2006, 4 years later, the Department of Land Conservation and Development developed safe harbors that cities can use when evaluating their future density. These safe harbors establish specific density targets for cities for demonstrating the city is growing efficiently. So effectively, these safe harbors replaced what we had originally adopted. Then in 2015, DLCD developed a simplified urban growth boundary review process with its own set of densities. The county framework was not updated to reflect these new processes available to cities reviewing their land use. Cities must comply with state requirements. Demonstration of consistency with county guidelines is optional. In addition, the framework has components that provide guidelines in other areas of city growth and development, such as transportation, environment, economic development, and housing. Cities can have unique circumstances that apply to their development that may not be reflected in the framework. Yet, they may still proceed to evaluate their circumstances and propose a land use implementation to address their need. Because of this, the guidelines adopted into the framework may necessarily be too limited in scope to be widely applicable to cities. For these reasons, staff discussed with the Board of Commissioners the consideration of removing the growth management framework from the urbanization element of the comprehensive plan. On April 14, 2021, the board adopted an order initiating consideration of these amendments and scheduling the hearing for today. With that, I'm available for any questions you may have.
Questions for Brandon at this time?
I don't have any questions. Seems pretty open and closed to me.
Yeah, so we have nobody signed up for public comment, so we'll go right back to Brandon. Do you want to talk about how this came up?
It just feels to me like this is something that was useful at one time, and then state law changed, and now it's not useful. So yeah, I think it's kind of an open, like you said, pretty straightforward.
Okay. So, Brandon, any closing comments?
None, thank you.
Any further questions or comments from Brandon?
No, I changed my mind.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to close the public hearing and amend the county comprehensive plan.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I would move that we close the hearing, close the record, and approve the amendments directing staff to return with an ordinance reflecting the board's decision.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Good motion? You're great?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon, for your work on this. Okay. Who wants to read the calendar today?
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right, today is Wednesday, May 26, 9 a.m. We're in the Senator Hearing Room, first floor, 555 Court Street for board session. Tomorrow, Thursday, 5:20, did I say it was 5:26? Today's 5:26. Tomorrow, 5:27, Thursday, 9 o'clock, we have a work session for CDBG Consolidated Plan Review with Western Economic Services upstairs, 5th floor, Commissioner's Boardroom. And then at 12 p.m. tomorrow, we have the State and Sublimity Chamber of Commerce 75th Annual Chamber Community Awards Luncheon at Foothills Church, 975 Fern Ridge Road, Southeast Dayton. And then tomorrow, the 27th at 1 p.m., we have the Health and Human Services Policy Group meeting upstairs on the 5th floor, Commissioner's Boardroom, 555 Court Street. And then tomorrow at 1:30, sorry, I was like, is that overlap? At 1:30, we have a work session for Salem Airport update and Aurora Airport Master Plan introduction. Location, Commissioner's Boardroom, upstairs, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then tomorrow at 6 p.m., we have a Town Hall, Scotts Mills Dam Town Hall at Scotts Mills County Park. And then on Monday, we are closed on 5/31 from 8 to 5 in observance of Memorial Day. Then on Tuesday, June 1st, which I can't believe is already here, at 9:30, we have management update, location, Commissioner's Boardroom, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then at 1 p.m. on Tuesday the 1st, we have a work session for Salem Kaiser Recycling and Transfer Station, location Commissioner's Boardroom, upstairs on the 5th floor. And on Wednesday the 2nd, we're back here at 9 a.m. for board session, 1st floor, 555 Court Street. And on Wednesday at 12, we have the Woodburn Marion County meeting, which is virtual. And then at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, we have the FEMA briefing for local officials, location Commissioner's Boardroom, 5th floor, upstairs. That's it. That's it.
All right.
Isn't that great?
Yes. I'm like, I don't believe it. There's a missing
One page, yeah. Well, your predecessor told me when I remember coming, thinking I was gonna do this, he said, after budget, it's skate time.
Yeah, that was a lie.
I know.
That was a lie.
But it is a little bit of a example, because look at how busy we were the last,
6 months.
well,
I mean,
18 months.
18 months?
18 months, who knows, yeah. But you get a one-page calendar like this, and one of the items says we're closed. It's a
I know, I
holiday.
feel like there's something wrong with the calendar. Like, I left my purse somewhere and I need to go find it. That's what I feel like is happening right now.
Good. Anything else?
This weekend, on Friday, two things. One, on Friday at 11 o'clock is the first ribbon cutting in Detroit for Mountain High, and they're gonna have one,
Did we put that on here?
no,
Brenda, we might notice that, because
Yeah.
I will be there.
I'll be there all day. There's 3, 11, 12, and 1 o'clock, back to back.
Oh, there's 3 of them now?
Uh-huh. Yes,
Were they
sir.
doing the motel, or what?
Yes, I don't have the whole schedule. I'm bringing the big ribbon, or the big scissors
Scissors.
and the ribbon, and we'll be there to do whatever Mayor Trett needs me to do.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, I think just groundbreaking, Detroit, Main Street,
Yeah,
from noon to 3, that covers it. Or no,
11
11 to 2. That'll cover it, so we just need to notice it.
yeah. And then on Saturday is the Memorial Day weekend fishing derby up at Detroit. Both marinas will be open. I'm hauling my boat up there tomorrow night. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Like, so excited. My girls were like, they're checking the calendar for weather, because they are certain
It's
that
gonna
they're
be
gonna go
80
out on the
degrees.
boat this weekend. I'm like, we might get on the boat, but I bet you don't get in the water. It's gonna be cold.
Without a wetsuit on,
Yeah.
yeah. I've noticed, coming up, driving back and forth, well, the 2 days I have this week, that down at Mongold, the guys at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, these guys are down in the water with the Forest Service boats doing the lake sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys get in the water at 7 o'clock in the morning,
I know, it's crazy.
and that water's not warm. Yeah.
Before we sign off,
Yep.
I want to just give a shout out to Nick Harville of SEDCOR. That guy is a staple in Marion County, and I talk to him pretty frequently. I think we all do in one form or another, but he's leading a significant amount of effort for the rebuild of the canyon. And I was talking to him this morning. I don't know what Marion County would do without him. I feel like there should be some special award that we should give him for being so resourceful and willing. He sent us an email yesterday about a gentleman named Doug Steneroden from Canby Excavation, who just happened to reach out to me via Facebook the other day, and I thought, I don't know this guy, but I'll give it a shot and accept the friend request. And he is a worker. He's been doing all kinds of things with the canyon, and he's helping with the Camp Tulalli fundraiser that's later this summer for the canyon. I think it'd be fun for the county to figure out a way to do small acknowledgements for those that are really going above and beyond. Maybe it'll just be me weekly doing this, but I just want to say thanks to Nick and Doug for being rock stars.
Nick really has a heart for the community, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he just knows everybody. Yeah, he knows everybody, I feel like. When Kevin retires, maybe we can convince Nick to run for commissioner.
I think Nick's gonna retire before I do. Nick, where are you?
You guys can go out together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna retire. My favorite musician says it's better to burn out than to fade away.
That's a true story.
That's Neil Young. That's me. I'm gonna
I
burn
love how he
out.
used to tell me who it is.
Huh?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and Jerry Jeff Walker, those two guys. He already faded away. Jerry Jeff passed on this year. All right.
Okay.
Ready? Can we
Yep.
adjourn?
Yeah.
We're done.